Hi everyone, this is just a short video on the float rig. Some people call it a sliding cork rig. You can what the beauty of the sliding cork rig, and I'll show you how to put it together here. That's what this video is all about. But the beauty of it is that it allows you to fish almost any depth water. I mean, from 2 or 3 feet to 40 or even 50 feet. It can be set up for panfish. This one is set up for panfish, light tackle stuff. And it also could be used for largemouth bass. It could be used for striped bass. It could be used for walleyes. Lots of fish in saltwater can be fished the same way. Inshore saltwater for sea trout, redfish, even tarpon. The beauty of it is it needs to be fished. It's most effective fished in waters with current, either tide water or rivers, because it allows you to fish from a stationary position and drifting back with this rig to fish at whatever depth water you believe the fish can be. It could be 2 feet edge of a grass flat or something, or it could be in 30 or 40 feet deep around an underwater hump, jetty, rock line, bridge abutments, whatever it would be. And as you change baits and lures, and it can be used with both. This is set up with the jig that can be used with a natural bait. As you change lures and fish in deeper and heavier current, the entire rig moves up in size. This small float would not be really very efficient in kind of bumpy water and maybe fishing in 40 feet. So you could, with a little bit bigger baits and a little bit heavier hooks and sinkers, you can go up to this size float, or this size float, or even giant floats like this one. It barely fits into the viewer screen here. Can be used for any number of things. But no matter what size float or weights and sinkers and hooks you're going to use, it's all basically set up pretty much the same. So for purposes of ease of discussion, I'm going to be setting up a smaller one that I would use for panfish, crappies, most panfish species, although you could use the same thing for bass and maybe trout. Would be absolutely, totally effective for freshwater stream trout, set up just this way. What you first do is you put a bead on. And the bead is designed to keep this slip knot, which I'll show you how to tie in a moment, from going into the float. This one has a particularly small hole, so this stop knot does not go in there, but the bead will really prevent that knot from going into the float. And that's what stops this, and how you maintain perfect depth with this rig is that this stop float, the stop knot there, right here above the float, when it slides down, pulled by the jig or sinker, that jams against the top of the float and thwarts how far the bait is fished off bottom. The beauty of the slip float is that by adjusting this stop knot, I can position the bait that's underneath this float to fish at whatever depth I choose to. And by adjusting this stop knot up toward the reel, I will fish deeper. The deeper the water being fished, the deeper the bait should be fished, because generally speaking, most of the sport fish that we're targeting are on the bottom. So the key to this, setting this up, is you slide a bead on, you slide whatever size sliding float. This happens to be a Thill style float. It's a very good one, it's made of balsa. It's very buoyant, productive. And they run that through, and you tie it onto either your hook to a hook or a jig. Now there's any number of ways you can make this knot on your line. And you can tie it, or you can buy commercial products such as this and these. These are called stop knots, and they're make life real simple. You just slide them on there, they cinch down. You got to trim. I leave a little tag in on either side of the knot, and it just slides up and down. But you should know how to tie this knot. All this knot really is a unit knot. That's all it takes. And you choose, I like a bright colored line for this, for tying a unit knot on for a slip float. And I like a little bit heavier test to the than the fishing line. This is a braid of some sort, this commercial product. I believe this style is made by Phil, and you can buy these little sleeves. They slide on, the knot slides off the sleeve, you tighten the knot, and there it is. But it's just simply a unit knot. All you do is take another piece of fishing line, braid particularly, or a stout monofilament, and just tie it onto your fishing line, tie it snug, leave tag ends, which help jam it against the bead when it's in use. It helps jam against that bead, and that's basically the setup for this fishing rig.